Well, I came out here to put the Miata on the lift so I can bring the Subaru in, and it started raining. It's calmed down a good bit though. It was pouring a minute ago. Just look at that 7.3 power stroke on 24s. I like my 7.3 power stroke on 24s. Oh, it's so funny to me. Anyway, yeah, we got the Miata on the lift, but not because we're working on the Miata. We were working on the Subaru. Finally, we're gonna be registering it in this video. So I'm really excited about that. We can finally start driving it around and work out all the bugs. So anyway, before I tell you guys all my plans, let me go get it, brave the rain, bring her on in here so we can start working on her. All right, we got the Subaru inside so we don't get electrocuted. I do remember a couple more things we have to do. So it's mostly like interior and fun little stuff, but we do need to do a rear wheel bearing. I have that kit for that. We need to figure out the power steering hard line. There's a hard line that's split. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with that, because if we drive it around with the pump hooked up and no fluid, it is just gonna burn the pump out. So I really don't wanna do that, but it drives fine without the power. Maybe we'll try to bypass the pump for now. It's just it's a hard line that goes from like one side of the rack to the other, and I can't really find it online. It's just kind of a weird part. I have to track it down from someone who parts these out. But speaking of that, we have a bunch of parts from kid named Ryan. He lives in Canada. He messaged me when I first got this car and was like, oh, if you ever need any parts, whatever. So he gave me a good deal on a bunch of stuff we needed for this car to finish up the interior. Just stuff that'll make the car look a lot nicer. And we're gonna start driving it. So exciting. I think it still might have a misfire. It's hard to tell. Like, I don't really have a baseline for what it's supposed to run like. So I don't know if it's misfiring or it's normal, but anyway, let's tear into this box and see what we got. Further investigation, the other box is stuck in customs, but we got most of the stuff we need, and that's what's important. So, let me show you guys what we got here. We got our B-pillar trim pieces that go behind the door because ours are, and have always been, missing. So it just looks super jank. Got some mud flaps. One of them's missing, but he just sent them to me for free. So, might as well try to make use of them. We got a pair of matching JDM tails, which is sick. We got a clamshell for our steering column, got corner lights, got this cubby that I was missing. We got plastic clips for the door sill trim pieces. I need even more of these, honestly. I need as many of these as I can get. But anyway, we can at least get our driver's one to stop falling out every time we get in and out of the car. And then some other random brackets and hardware. And then I was missing a few of the buttons that go to the left of the steering column. So he said he was gonna send me a cool one. He sent me this one. I think he sent me two of these actually. But it's an intercooler water sprayer button out of a JDM one. So this is really cool. I might eventually wire that up. Cool button. Cool JDM buttons. I like JDM buttons. Gets me hyped. So anyway, that is what we have. We're gonna work on the interior now. Those little clip things go in here, and missing all of them. Like, not a single one of these door sill pieces has them. So I'm gonna start throwing this stuff in, making this thing look a little more complete, because it's almost there. It's still a little jank though. So let's get to it. We got the B-pillar trim pieces in. Finally got some freaking clips for these, man. Oh, so nice. They're not just falling all over the place anymore. That's such a nice change. And these too, these made a huge difference. Oh, stoked. I do this every time. I do this every time. Glad I didn't mess anything up. Little stuff like this is just always so satisfying on a car. More so when you're driving it around and you've had this annoying little interior things bugging you and you finally fix them. Oh, it feels so satisfying. So another one is the door panel. And the clips kept like coming undone because I never put bolts in it. There's a bolt that goes there and a bolt that goes here. And anyway, it would fall off and it would get stuck and you couldn't open the door. So I finally fixed that. Now it's on super solid. I gotta like glue this down or something. I need to get one of these pieces here. So I was trying to put the column surround deal here on, but there's like a little bracket in the way of one of the little screw posts. So I don't know, trying to figure that out. But yeah, moving right along. Most of it's interior now. And look at this. Oh, I did it again. I was just trying to show you that the door shuts and opens now without the door panel getting stuck. But stupid, that light every time. Every time I put that light in between doors, it just happens. Look, it's sunny. Look at that. So, I guess this column cover has to be wrong. There's just like a few things that make it not fit. Like where those posts are that it connects to itself, that's in the way of the ignition column, or the ignition rather. And then there's just a couple other things that don't fit. So I don't know if this, maybe like my year uses a different one or something, but we can't get this on. So that's kind of lame, but we got most everything else in. We're tidying up stuff. Like I just got the fender liners tucked in. I need to work on finishing securing the bumper. And then we're gonna move on to the tail light. So as you can see, that is a normal one, that is a JDM one. Our normal one is in good shape, our JDM one has water in it, so we're gonna replace them both. See if we can do a little snap trick here. Ta-da! Matching JDM tails. Woo! Very exciting. I gotta clean the sealant stuff off this one. There we go. Now we got the full pimpin' rear end. Looking snazzy. Check this out. Check how bad this one was full of water. Do you hear that? You can see it. Yeah, so that's no good. So now we got matching ones and they're not leaking, so that's good. I think, do we have anything else to throw on? I have this thing, but I'm not too worried about putting it in. This goes on like the center console area. I think I gotta take it out, and I wanna put a radio I have in anyway, so maybe we'll get to that a little later today. But first, I think we're gonna go ahead and get the Miata off the lift, get this thing on the lift so we can start working on the wheel bearing, because that's like a major thing that we gotta get fixed. So. Well, before we tackle the wheel bearing here, I'm kind of procrastinating on doing it. Watch me hit my head. Ooh, that was close. I just really don't want to do it, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna get to it. But before that, another important thing, the two main things that we have to get done to make this car roadworthy is our power steering leak. And you can kind of see it right there. There's like a pinhole and there. So what I'm gonna do in the meantime, I'm gonna take this to a hydraulic hose and try to get it fixed. But in the meantime, just so I can drive this thing around and make sure that this is my only leak, I'm gonna run to the store and pick up some JB Weld and just try to JB Weld it up and put a hose over it. Just for now, because I'd like to try to find like a factory replacement off a rack, if I can find anyone that has a rack and is willing to take that part off. You know, and if not, I'll just get one made. But anyway, we are gonna be unregistering the Miata tomorrow and putting the tag on the Subaru. So this is kind of our last time to drive it, so we're gonna take it to the store to get our JB Weld, even though it is about 7 million degrees outside right now. No, because I need to get car wash. Remind me to get car wash while I'm there. I've been using dish soap, so I'm gonna go get car wash the car later when it's not so hot. When in Florida, when it's super hot like this and you wash a car, it's like the soap freaking flash dries before you can even spray it off. It's ridiculous. Okay, off to the store. All the things. Man, it has been a long time since I've driven this car on the street. Wow, oh my glasses are crooked. Yeah, been a long time, man. Been a long time. I forgot how rowdy it feels on the street. I haven't even done anything. Just like driving around, it's freaking loud and V80 and choppy. I love it. Love it. Well, I got my JB Welds. I'm gonna try this one because the little squeeze tubes are always hard to get the right amount, and then they usually get hard on me. So anyway, we got this, but I of course forgot car wash soap. I literally thought about it as I was like pulling into the driveway. I was like looking in the mirror. I'm like, oh, the over fenders stayed on. That's good. It means we bolted them on good. I'm like, man, this thing's so dirty. Damn it. So anyway. All right, we got our JB'd up. I don't have a ton of faith in this working, but it's definitely worth the shot, you know? So anyway, now we can move on to our rear wheel bearing. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it in the camera, but can you see that? It's toast. It is really bad. We got a wheel bearing kit. It's probably gonna be a bit of a pain. We'll probably have to take the knuckle off entirely and press the bearing out, so gotta get started. So first step in our wheel bearing change is to take the knuckle off. It really wasn't too bad. There's just kind of a lot of arms on this one, and the worst thing is that drum parking brake. I have virtually no experience with drum brakes, and I'm taking it all off. I get the last bolt off and then realize I gotta pull that parking brake cable out, so I start messing with it, try not to take the pad out, have to take the pad out, and then finally can get everything off. Did you get your beauty sleep last night? Your beauty sleep.
Beauty sleep.
Yeah.
I'd have to sleep forever to get beauty.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right, we got it all apart. It really wasn't that bad, honestly. There was a couple struggles. I was like, okay, cool, we're good. Go to take it off, and then realized that this is still in there, the wheel speed sensor. So I'm like, oh crap, all right. So it was kind of resting here. I was like, oh, it'll be fine. I go to take this off, and then it just falls down on me. So yeah, should have put a bolt back in when I did that, but whatever. We got it out. Not in the best shape. It's pretty toasty. We got to press this out first, and then we can kind of figure out. Yeah, it looks like we should be able to press everything out without taking this other shoe off. I've never messed with drum brakes, so I'm very inexperienced with how it's going to go back together. So hopefully I don't screw that part up. That's about the only thing I'm worried about. And pressing stuff out is never fun. Usually you end up, shit gets stuck, and yeah, it's just a pain. So anyway, hopefully it goes smoothly. We got our replacement. I went ahead and ordered the setup with the new hub, because a lot of times, at least on Miatas, the bearing race gets stuck there, and it's a pain to get off, so I just ordered the whole thing so I wouldn't have to deal with that. We got our new bearing, new seals, new axle nut, so we're gonna put that on the press, figure out how it comes apart, and then we can put it back together. So wish me luck. All right, we got it all apart. Really not bad at all. I know I say that a lot, but I just I go into things assuming they're gonna be terrible and miserable. Look at Al putting in work. Neighbor Al's killing it, cleaning up the yard. We lost our the people who do our yard. They just like quit. So anyway, neighbor Al likes mowing, so been paying him to mow the yard. So good to hang out with neighbor Al. Can't complain about that. All right. Anyway, if you guys take a look here at this here Baron, it's a little messed up. She is pretty toast. You can see the balls jiggling around in there. You can see the melted case. You could see it on this side, but I had to pry it out of the way. But there it is. You see that? That's like what should be the shell here to keep the bearing sealed, and it just like melted and bound up on itself. So anyway, that thing is toast-a-mundo, and our seals are toast. They're all burnt up for the same reason. So yeah, we're gonna get this inside here cleaned up because it's real dirty from all the plastic and stuff that got melted and slung around, and then start slamming this thing back together. All right, more press time. A little tip, if you are pressing in a bearing, use the old bearing to press it in, because it's the perfect size to push on just the outer race so you don't pop the middle out. When you're pressing the spindles in, be super, super careful. It is very, very easy for them to start going in crooked, and you don't realize it, and then you try to keep going, and you make a mess of everything. It's done. It's all back together. Feels nice. And I think the hardest part for me is just going to be getting this brake drum assembly put back together correctly, because I didn't see how some of it came out because it just kind of went flying off. So anyway, yeah, back together. Hard part's over. Shouldn't say that, but this part is over. Time to reinstall. So I was checking out our JB Weld repair, and I'm a little concerned. It's still a little gooey, and the stuff I had left over in the mixing tray is pretty hard already. So that leads me to believe that some power steering fluid is still in this line and seeped into it, and it's keeping it from curing up. But we do have to put it on the trailer to take it to the DMV because it's out of state title. And I don't know if other states are like this, but in Florida, if your title is out of state, you have to go there and they have to check the VIN. So, and what's funny about that is you can't legally drive it there because it's not registered, so you have to get it there somehow. So I'm just gonna trailer it. I'm going up to my girlfriend's anyway, and the DMV is closer to her house than it is mine. But it's just silly. Florida's registration laws are odd. But anyway, I'm gonna start slamming this back together so we can get this thing back on the road. All right, reinstall time. So I just kind of start getting the bolts loosely in there for all of the arms just to make sure it's not going to fall on me again like it did on the way out. But like I said, my main concern is the drum brakes. So I decided to start kind of tackling that before I go through and bolt everything down thoroughly. So we mess with it. We finally get the e-brake cable to hook into the pad, and then I'm trying to figure out where everything else goes, because like I said, I didn't see it come apart. So I was super confused. I was missing pieces, so I had to look for those. But once we found everything, we got it back together right. We figured out how to do it. But then I realized that I never put the axle in, so I got to take all the bolts back out to get the axle in. But luckily, it was really easy on this car. None of the bolts were super tight. None of the arms were hard to get on or off. Like, everything kind of goes together and comes apart really easily. So then we put the brake rotor on, we get the axle nut on, tighten it down, and then we're just basically tightening everything else down, making sure everything is good and secure, and we're pretty much done. Slap the brake caliper back on, then we throw the wheel back on, and that's pretty much it. Really not bad at all. No complaints. It's back together with a non-broken, terrible, shaky wheel bearing. It's so exciting, man. It's the little stuff like this, you know, that's been kind of keeping the car down, and I forget about it, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go register, and I'm like, oh man, I can't drive it with a bad wheel bearing. And then, you know, just like, it's so motivating to get it done. Like, I can't wait to fix the power steering line. I hope our JB Weld solution holds on for a little bit while we source a line, but man, such a funny thing that I'm so stoked about. But like, in the interior, man, I'm so happy to have those interior pieces. The interior is like almost complete. Once we get that second package, it'll be pretty much fully complete, which is also very exciting. The AC works, like we need to put a radio in it. We got other little stuff to do, but I'm so hyped to start driving this thing around, man. It's gonna be so fun. It's been kind of a long project, and it sits for these long periods, so I'm just super hyped to start driving it and finding more issues and fixing them and getting it really dialed in. So anyway, the thunder is getting rowdy out here, so I'm gonna go ahead and hook up to the trailer, because like I said, we got to tow it to the DMV tomorrow. So I'm gonna go hook up and get ready to load up.
Dancing through the streets, we wander, falling for the fire, burning at the heart, throwing hands up to the sky. Ooh, we live for the night. Ooh, here for the ride. I feel alive under the city lights.
All right, got the car all loaded up. Looks kind of snazzy with the open. Doesn't look as cool as it does with the enclosed, but not too bad. Gotta grab my stuff and get on the road. Freaking get to it. Got the old GC in tow. Looks nice back there. This thing tows this open trailer like nothing. I mean, I guess that's pretty obvious, but I can't really do this on a narrow road. All right, look, check my oil temps, 211. I don't know if you can see them. But we're doing 65, 70 for the past like 15, 20 minutes with about 5,000 pounds. And we haven't broke 212 the whole time. So, I mean, I'm not gonna speak too soon, but it's a good sign. We made it. I'm gonna go register this thing in the morning. I'm so hyped, and I'm hyped because the freaking truck oil temps never got over 213. Granted, I was going like mainly trying to go 70, sometimes as low as 65, and then I got up to 75 on the main road, but I wasn't on it for very long. So still though, that seems like a drastic improvement. It's not with the big trailer, it's with the smaller trailer. But I think before, if I remember right, we went to get tires mounted. It's about a 20-minute drive, doing 70 the whole way, and it got up to like 225, I think, no trailer. So definitely seems like an improvement, which I'm very hyped about. So we'll have to do a test with the big trailer and really see if it's fixed or not, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I shouldn't get, like I said, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. I'm not gonna get too excited, but we're registering this. Well, hopefully that too, because it's out of state title, and I don't know, it just could get messy and they could not accept it. So I don't know, I'm a little concerned about that because I don't have a bill of sale, but we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. All right, we're at the DMV. Had to park over here by the sheriff's boat. Talking to the sheriff's guy, he was really cool. He was because I was like, hey man, where should I park? Because I know the parking lot dead ends over there. And he's like, oh, park here, so I normally park, but I'm over there, whatever. Anyway, really cool guy. Got the old Subaru registered. Like I said before, small DMVs are the way to go. Just way easier to deal with, way quicker in and out. But man, it started pouring down rain. We were joking about how it was gonna rain. It always rains when they finish up mowing over here. And starts pouring. So I had unhooked the batteries from the truck. I've had this issue since I got the truck. When it gets wet, something underneath the dash gets wet. The windshield leaks a little bit, and it causes like the locks to turn on and off, and the ignition to turn on and off, just like you're turning the key on and off. It's really weird. So anyway, I unhooked the batteries when I went in, come out pouring, open the hood, go to hook the batteries back up, lightning strikes in the freaking parking lot, just like, boom! I was like, oh my God, it was crazy. It was crazy. But anyway, we were finished up. Everything went well, all good. So we're gonna go home, unload, and go drive this thing for the first time legally. So let's do it. We got everything unloaded. I put some power steering fluid in hopes our leak was resolved. It is not. It's leaking. It's not crazy like it was before, but you can see the drips down there. It's starting to drip. So we are gonna have to go through and fix this the proper way, which I wanted to do anyway. I was just hoping this would buy me some time so I could drive it around without the pump not having any fluid in it, because probably gonna burn the pump up that way, but I want to drive it. I don't have a replacement line, so we'll see what happens. All right, yeah, I gotta tidy up a couple last little things before we go on a drive, and then let's hit the road. Alrighty, Maiden voyage. We're not gonna go super far yet. We're gonna take this thing to dinner tonight, me, Ben, and Justin. But for right now, we're just gonna go on a little Maiden voyage. Hook our cob up. We'll get a data log of the parameters, just so we know what's going on with it. I'm so happy the AC works in this thing. If you guys haven't watched along for like the whole process, oh, we gotta adjust this mirror. I set it up so I could see getting off the trailer. I could see the tires. Yeah, if you haven't watched the whole process, basically, I got this car incomplete with the engine in it. I ended up tearing it apart and swapping the entire engine harness out for a I-wire merge service harness, which is way better. We had crazy parasitic power draws before, and now I've let this thing sit for like a month at a time and nothing. It starts right up. These seats are comfortable. I think this thing's gonna be more comfortable as far as like a daily is concerned than the Subaru. Just cause like the seats are comfy, it's got BCDS coilovers on it, and like we're going down the driveway at like 15 miles an hour and fine, which our driveway is very bumpy if you didn't know. So yeah, anyway, short drive to the gas station as a test drive. Oh, and we got a cop. Good thing we're legal. This is pretty surreal. This is the first like street car I've built in a while. Not to romp it too hard yet until we're sure that it's not knocking or anything, because I guess that's the thing with these dealios. Misfiring though. I think it's just on 8 PSI, which it should be, I think it should be like 14 or 16 or something. Cruising at 60 right now, feels good, needs an alignment apparently. Wow guys, this is the first first time I've driven this thing at more than like 20 miles an hour. The farthest I've gone is like 150 feet from my house. That is the farthest I've gone in this car. So nice to have a swapped car where everything works. The tach works, the speedo works, everything. Going temps 199. Seems a little high. I don't know what operating temp is. Keep an eye on it. Oh, the brakes are really good on this car for stock brakes. Cruising down the street in my GC, jocking the all-wheel drives, slapping the snowboards. It's terrible. It rides really good. Rides really good. Like, this is a comfortable car for a daily driver. I'm really happy with how well it rides. Oh, the AC, I was trying to tell you guys this earlier. So I had this car incomplete. It said it needed an AC line. AC line was hooked up. So I put just like half a can in the system. It was leaking, found the leak. It was a O-ring on the AC condenser. Fixed that and wired up the fans. Charged the vacuum to charge the system. Voila, we got freaking working AC. Which I was really surprised about. I didn't expect us to get that going. It's really not obnoxiously loud right now either on the highway. Going between this and the Safiro, I never know which freaking thing to hit to turn my blinkers on. Well, this thing's got a pretty bad turning radius. You think we're gonna make this U-turn? I don't know. Oh, we got it. We got it. Give her the beans real quick. Good. I got up to 16 Dom, whatever that means. This thing runs so good. I got to give so much credit to iWire for this merge harness. Like, everything works. Like I said, no freaking drains. Seatbelt doesn't work. No power drains. Everything works. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna run in and get a drink and then we will drive home. God, I can't believe we're freaking driving this thing, guys. With AC, with the windows up. Crazy, crazy. The last things we gotta do, we gotta fix the power steering leak. We gotta replace that line. We know it's coming from just that line now because it was dripping right off of it. And that was the only place I saw any fluid dripping. So that's good. And then, I mean, I thought it had a misfire. I don't think it does. Like I said, we'll send the data logs to Adam and Cobb and see what he thinks. I don't know if he'll be able to tell if there's a misfire or not, but we might buy a coil pack and just kind of swap them out, you know, like switch it between a couple of them and just see what happens, see if like it runs better or whatever. But yeah, I mean, now it's pretty like it's done. It's street legal. We're driving around. Now we just got to work on the cool stuff, like doing cool wheels and whatever else we want to do, getting it cleaned up. Give her a little bit of a rip in a second here. I'm letting off when it hits 9 pounds because it's kind of scary. It always sounds like it starts misfiring after I get on it. That's scaring me, but I think we're okay. Throttle, just getting it into boost, it feels really good. Nice and peppy. I've never had a Subaru before. I've never had anything with a boxer engine. It's all new for me. Never had an all-wheel drive car. I'm so excited to take this thing up to the Dragon. That is the main plan with this thing. You know, like the first thing I want to do once it's all sorted is take it up to the Dragon and go rip it, because, oh, it's going to be so fun. We made it home and she's still running. That's all we can hope for, man. That's all we can hope for. Definitely can't complain about that. So we'll check her out, see if she's, I mean, she's gonna be still leaking power steering fluid. Ben's pumped that we made it home alive without breaking down. I told him, like, you better be ready to come pick me up because you might have to. All right, let's check her out. See how we're doing. There's something burning off the exhaust. I mean, one, there's gonna be greasy prints burning off, but I think the power steering fluid that's leaking is making its way onto the exhaust and burning up. I don't see anything else leaking anywhere that I can find. You can see the smoke right there, kind of. So we need to investigate that a little further and just make sure that's all good. But I think we're good, man. I think we're good. It runs and drives good. Like, everything seems to be working on it. But there's, like I said, there's a few things I got to tidy up. It feels a little slow, but like I'm not flooring it anywhere. So like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. And then I've got to get new rear door harnesses because they put WRX rear door harnesses in it. And because of that, my GC8 merged harness doesn't work. So I need to put those in. And like a few other little things, but man, I mean, it's pretty complete. I need to get a GC cruise control module. This is a WRX one, but if we get a GC one that'll plug into our harness, then our cruise control will work, which will be dope. I mean, this will be like a freaking stock car. That's the goal by the time we're done with it, to make it, you know, not a swapped car, not a race car, like work like stock and everything function together like stock. That is the goal, because that's tough to do, and I've never done a build like that, so it's kind of fun to try it. You know, it's a lot of little things. But anyway, I guess that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully everything's good, and we'll drive it some more. But she's registered. I'm gonna start dailying her around. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.